Hello, 301ers. Today we're going to be covering effects on hypoxic training versus normoxic training on exercise performance in competitive swimmers. This is the coders. Now introducing the topic, what is hypoxic training? Hypoxic training is the ability to hold your breath longer. Hypoxic training was also intended to simulate altitude training. What is normoxic training? Normoxic training is pretty much training under normal circumstances. So why was the research conducted? The study was aimed to evaluate the effects of 6 weeks of hypoxic training on exercise performance in moderately trained competitive swimmers while comparing the 6 weeks effect on normoxic training on the same moderately trained competitive swimmers.
The participants were 20 South Korean, moderately trained competitive swimmers that were equally divided into two groups of 10, with 5 females and 5 males. One group was assigned to a normoxic training group for sea level training, while the second group was assigned to a hypoxic training group for training in a simulated 3,000-meter hypoxic condition. There were 8 days of pre-test session. After 3 days, there were 6 weeks of training session under each environmental condition. And then after 3 days, there were 8 days of post-session. Each test were performed in a chamber. Tests conducted before and after training measured aerobic exercise capacity, anaerobic power, muscular function, hormonal response, 50 meters and 400 meters swimming performance. Training was conducted within 2 hours, 3 days a week for 6 weeks. The training consisted of a warm-up, continuous training, interval training, elastic resistance training, and a cool-down. In addition, all swimmers performed additional normoxic training session composed of swimming and resistance training sessions 2 days per week for 6 weeks. Resistance training was 1 hour and swimming training was 2 to 3 hours. Participants rested for the weekends.
So for the results in exercise capacity, there was no significant change in either group. Note that there was a change with time. The IHT group had an increase in their VO2 max in both testing conditions. And in anaerobic power, the IHT group increased their peak aerobic power after the 6 weeks of training. There wasn't a strong enough correlation with the peak and mean anaerobic power. For muscular function and hormone response with the ANOVA analysis, it is revealed that there is a correlation within the muscular function parameters. Both groups had a significant increase in all exercise in both testing conditions, but there is no correlation with muscular function and hormonal response. And in the time trial, no correlations, but there was some effect in time. The IHT group increased their time trials during both conditions.
In conclusion, the study determines that hypoxic training had a positive effect on the muscular strength and endurance of moderately trained competitive swimmers.
However, the hypoxic training method resulted in unclear changes in aerobic exercise capacity, VO2 max, anaerobic power, and swimming performance of 50 m and 400 m.